Welcome back, everybody. It is part number 2 of my interview with Jenny and Sinc. If you watched part number 1, well done, you survived. Here's part number 2, though. More fun to be spoken about, more history, more anecdotes, lots of info and insights into what makes Jenny and Sinc tick and the world of hip hop pop. So enjoy this, and we have some more interviews coming along the way over the next couple of weeks, with some more wonderful, amazing people that have helped make this show what it is. But for now, here's part number 2 of the interview with Jenny and Sinc. A couple more of these. What's the worst haircut or hairstyle you've ever had?
Well, I thought it would be cheaper for me to buy a blonde hair dye and do it at home, and it went really bad. My head was yellow, like I'm talking canary yellow.
Did I know you during this time?
I think so, because then I had to have it all cut off.
You had a bob.
I had a really short bob.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Because I dyed it black, and to get rid of the yellow.
The yellow?
Yellow. I dyed it black.
Heidi's back.
I ruined my hair so much that the hairdresser had to cut all my hair off. So then to get back to blonde, I had to do it gradually. So I went through this fades of black, brown, ginger, red, all different colours, but as a tiny bob. And I just looked awful.
I thought you was just trying to compete with Cheryl during that period or something.
Yeah, I was really. But yeah, it was bad. I mean, Jen, you had some cracking hairstyles.
I had some cracking
back in the day.
Especially, I haven't got a picture yet, but I might try and find one before this goes up. But I had a pink perm.
Yeah, she did.
Wow.
The first show I had a pink
down
perm.
to about here.
What's that?
This is not when I knew you, definitely.
No,
I mean,
it was
it's
that
on
first
the
show.
Hall of Shame, like again at your parents' house, where you had like a permy sort of thing going on, and you're like, "Wow, Jen had a '90s perm. That's well cool."
Yeah. She had a proper,
Like proper gel and mousse in it.
Yeah, that was rebel days, because she had really long hair down to her bum, really long hair. And then when she got older, she chopped it all off to about here.
That's my mum.
Your mum, she loved your long hair. And chopped it all off, got a perm, and sprayed it pink.
I was just finding myself, Robin. You know, I was going through the finding.
Turned down a wrong alley that day, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
But as long as I've known you, you've always had the same haircut, from what I can remember, and it just suits you. I can't imagine you having something different.
Yeah. I don't know how she's ever going to grow that bit back, to be fair.
I don't think she should. It would be weird. Even like when you're like 75, 80, like you've got to have that shaved bit.
Just rock it. Yeah, why not?
Who cares? Yeah.
Go on then. What's your what's your pet peeve? But I know you both got pet peeves. Think we could talk about an hour about some of yours, I'm sure. But
But my main one is like if someone eats and it's noisy, like like a pig noise or something. I'm just like, literally my insides, and they just like tense. I can't bear it. I cannot bear it. I have to just walk away.
I'm the worst for that with chewing gum, mostly because you start it and you go like that, you go, and then you forget it's there. Because I'm always chewing gum in the car.
Chewing gum's fine. It's if it's like just a normal dinner, but it's just there's so much noise. It's like someone's eating from
Especially
a
if
trough.
it's like a bit of a wet dinner, like something that's got gravy on.
Yeah, it's that noise. It makes me cringe a little bit.
Yeah, I've got two. One's just a general one when I'm trying to do focused work, and as I get older, I can't have any other sounds. So as in like talking sounds.
She means me.
So no, I put my earphones in and I listen to lyricless, chilled musics and jazz or something, so I can focus. And she'll be going in the background, and I can't do anything, and I just get more and more wound up. Yeah, thanks. There's that one, and then
the thing is, and I know Sinc probably knows that already, but 100% I know Sinc probably does it more because she knows that already.
Absolutely.
Just absolutely. Yeah. I can't imagine you sitting there going, "Oh, Jen's annoyed. I better stop that."
No, I will keep going until she cracks a smile.
Earphones are code for leave me alone.
Hi, Jen.
Yeah, exactly. Get Paul the crocodile out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I miss him. Have you found him yet?
I know he's somewhere. I'm sure I can
Oh.
find him. I
Need
think
to
he's in
find-
the kids' toys. We were talking about him on Cheryl's interview a little bit.
Oh
So
my God, I don't think I've ever laughed so much. I love Paul Corin, but I love
I
Paul.
know. That was still, we'll get to the funniest moments, but just quickly, it's still one of my favourite times when I brought Paul into it for whatever reason. Just this was clearly one of those tired Robin days where
Yeah.
tired Robin picked somebody to be annoying, and for whatever reason, I found I say he as if it's not me. I'd found like what is essentially, I think, a freezer clip that was
Yep.
obviously free in like Cocoa Pops or something like that. That's in the shape of a green crocodile head, and became anytime we were in the car, he was just there. Corin!
Yeah.
And he fancied Corin. That's all I can say. He fancied Corin, and he used to make it great for her, but she used to get the first time he arrived, she was not a fan. And
She did want to it.
I was concentrating so much on playing with Paul that I missed the turning for her to drop her home. Essentially drove all the way to her house, to her home, to then drive all the way back to get to her car where we lived.
That's right. Yeah.
Love it.
Oh
And
my God.
it was hilarious because I couldn't help myself. I had to get Paul out and make it worse.
So good.
You get to go the scenic route. Oh God, poor Corin. But she was, the thing with Corin is Corin doesn't laugh about things like that. She keeps a straight face. So it becomes twofold. You kind of go, oh, challenge accepted. And on the other side, you kind of go, it's even funnier because she thinks it's not funny.
Yeah.
And everybody else thinks it's funnier because she's not laughing. So let's do it some more. Just bad.
Love it.
All right then. So let's, before we get on to some of the funniest moments, and that could again last an hour if we really wanted it to, but let's go back to some of the other stuff. So tell us something unique that no one knows about both of you, if there is anything unique that you can tell us.
I'll go back to the violin story then.
Yeah, go on then.
I don't think anyone knows about that because I was really young. I was probably about 6 or something. So I went to a violin lesson. It was a private lesson, I think. I went in and I was so nervous. I wanted to go to the toilet, but I didn't want to ask because I was so nervous about it. So I wet myself.
Amazing.
Just a massive puddle on the floor, but I thought that I had covered it up with my feet. So I had stepped over it so that I could cover it so that the teacher didn't notice I'd wet myself. So it's not until I got older that I realised that the teacher sent me to the toilet because she'd noticed the puddle. And then when I come back, it was gone. And I thought it had just disappeared. But actually, now being an adult, I realised she cleaned it up.
Good for her though, making that not too embarrassing.
Yeah.
Good for her, especially back then, because teachers didn't care back then or whatever. People didn't care about it. Like, oh, really? Go away.
Yeah, so I wet myself in a violin lesson.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't know that about you, so I'm glad to. Jen, anything unique you can?
Yeah, it's not really a funny story. It's just something about I'm a super tennis fan, and a story when I was younger. My tennis club used to take me. My coach was Rod Petchy, who is the dad of Petchy, who used to play. Anyway, so they used to take us to Wimbledon. We used to have a ground pass and whatever. And I used to go with my dad as well. But regardless if I had a ground pass or I was sitting in centre court, wherever, at the end of the match, I had this autograph book that was just like the ultimate thing for my childhood. And I used to, the last few points, I mean, I knew it was just about to finish, which is silly. I should have watched the game. I used to run all the way around centre court, like as fast as I could, round to the little bit and put on my puppy dog eyes to the security, like, I've got a seat over there, but I've been trying for years to get the autograph. Can I come in? So as soon as the last point would go in, they'd let me run in and I'd be like the one at the front with my autograph. I got a few. Tim Henman didn't want to know. I don't like it.
Screw you, Henman. Screw.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, I've been
a big fan.
I've been trying to get one for years, and I got it, and I cried. So yeah, I
Wow.
was a bit.
Who was that?
Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, randomly.
Wow, I
I used
remember
to love
her.
her.
I remember that name. My
Yeah,
my dad was still is a big Wimbledon fan. Not so much the other tennis, but always Wimbledon. And
yeah.
yeah, it would be on. And when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh God, really? Because it always changed when like children's programs were on. When the 2 weeks of Wimbledon, children's programs would just be non-existent. Like, oh, we don't care about the kids. Stick the tennis on. You'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, you are kidding me. Am I missing Ninja Turtles for this? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, Ninja Turtles, legend.
outrageous. So
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that name cropping up a few times. So
Yeah,
what
no.
has been your some of, if not your all-time favorite FJ performance, favorite gigs, favorite like moment on a show, actually on stage, not necessarily off stage? So
I think mine is the first ever Barcelona gig we did with that sea of people on the beach.
yeah.
You couldn't see far enough for
You
the
couldn't
like the
see
people.
That
Well, I
was
remember
great.
Norbert telling us, Norbert, just to fill people in, Norbert's somebody who we've worked with for many years, like literally from about 2012, something like that, maybe even 11, maybe 2011. And he was originally one of Michael Jackson's tour managers for the History Tour. And we still, to this day, we still do shows with him. He's a lovely, lovely guy. We kind of started off on the wrong foot because he was asking for us to do all these things, and I was talking to Lee about it, and I was like, "That don't sound right. That doesn't seem right." Like, and all of this messing around. But when we got out there, it was just lovely, and we just got on so well. But yes, I remember that first one, and I remember him saying there was something like about 60,000 people there. It was just, and they had screens. It was all along the seafront, and they had screens going back so people could see what was going on. So
Yeah, I
It
remember
was so
thinking
good.
it was cool that the sea was like there,
Yeah,
and we
it
were
was-
performing. That was cool.
It was all open air, wasn't it? So it was just that
yeah,
was great. I loved that because we didn't see the crowd back behind the stage.
No.
You couldn't really see it. So it
Yeah.
wasn't until you first made that first step out on the opening number that you saw the sheer amount of people in front of you, and that was great. And they were so up for it.
Yeah, really up
yeah,
for
they
it.
were.
Like,
Do you
so
remember
up.
the stage? Do you remember what the stage
Yeah.
was like?
Yeah. Didn't it have little holes in
Bouncy.
it as well?
It was
Had
slats.
It was
It was an
slats.
old slats, like sort of what was clearly been there, like, and was there. Maybe it was for shows, maybe it was there for other stuff or whatever. But it had clearly been there for as long as the beach had. And
Wow.
so it was like these slats. And I remember anytime you jump, you'd be like that. You'd get this extra spring,
Sorry.
and I'd be like that. Oh my god! And like doing anything like a moonwalk of any kind, like the glide sort of going sideways, or the circular one, anything like that would just be a nightmare because you're just getting caught in between these slats. So
Yeah.
it was they've changed since then. They've changed all of the staging over the years, and it's like a proper really nice stage now.
Nice.
But yeah, that was a great show. That was good show. That
Yeah, I
it was
think
great.
mine was similar for the crowd reaction. I know it wasn't the greatest at the beginning for you, Robin, at South Africa, but the opening press night,
yes.
what I loved was before we'd even stepped foot on the stage, they were screaming, right? They
Yeah.
were shouting.
Every audience, whether it was packed or only a third full, because obviously we're doing some midweek stuff as well, they were insane. They were it was like I was actually Michael Jackson and we was a Jackson tour, a Jackson show coming out to perform for them. And we talked a lot in detail about South Africa with Greg on his interview, but they were so friendly, so lovely, so just appreciative. And I remember, we had the toaster pop stage, but it was like a slow one where you'd reveal. And I remember coming up for that and just seeing this packed audience going mental and thinking, oh my God, it doesn't get better than this.
No.
So,
I remember us
So
looking at
good.
each other like, woo!
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And
it was
Yeah,
you had to pace yourself because of it being the high altitude.
yes.
So breathing. And that was when we used to start the show with Jam. And Jam is a full-on dance anyway, but it's mentally hard to sing because there's no breathing points.
Right.
It's like, for anybody who knows Jam well, it's almost a rap to some extent. It's just like continuous. There's nowhere to breathe. So you're trying to breathe with reduced oxygen. Like, 'cause you can't go on with a mask on. And they always had oxygen at the side of the stage. I don't think anybody ever used it, did they?
No, actually, a point on that, which I'm quite proud of, is that one of the guys there, I can't remember if he was one of the techs or marketing guys, but anyway, he complimented us as a show, saying that I don't know any other dancers that haven't had to use that.
Wow. Okay.
That
Well,
was
you
pretty
girls
cool.
went through the ringer before we went out there. You were like training to make sure you was as fit as possible to go and do it.
Yeah,
we did.
I need that again.
Yeah, I need that again.
Me too. I'm
Yeah.
scared. I'm worried about when shows come back because I don't know what my stamina is going to be like.
Well,
So
when he come on the other day and he said we're going back in May, I just went, oh no. So I've started. I was like, I've got a month to lose 3 stone. Let's go, go, go.
I think everybody. I've started going off on a tangent again, but I started the other day. I thought, like Gemma said, because I can't run. Like every time I'd started running in the first lockdown, and I was really enjoying it, but it was ruining my knees and ankles like really badly. I was ending up like taking a week or 2 off of it before I then go and do another couple of runs and ruin them again. And I was like, I can't keep doing this because I just need my legs, like for all sorts of things, but especially work.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Gemma the other day. And I was like, I need to do some cardio stuff. I've been doing like weights, but I need to do some cardio stuff. She went, why don't you do skipping? And I was like, that's what 6-year-old girls do, isn't it? Skipping. And she was like, no, like what the boxers do. And I was like, oh, right, okay. Well, it doesn't seem like that's going to be very hard, but all right. She got me one of her skipping ropes. In 5 minutes, I had to stop about 7 times, and I was shattered. I was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, skipping's the one.
Yeah.
I'll do that more.
Hard, isn't it? He's so hard.
Ridiculously hard, but I was probably looking awful at it, like doing massive jumps, going like you watch the boxers, and they're just like almost like they're just dancing,
Yeah.
So I got to practice it more. But yeah, skipping's the one if you want to do a very quick but high impact cardio workout. So that's what I'm going to get into. So we talked about the best shows. Have you got, and without naming venues or names or anything like that, but have you got a worst show?
I mean, I think we all know what ones hurt our soul a little bit. Without naming names, we know what it is.
I think
But
I can.
yeah, I
Slightly
think
more loungy environments.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's the gig that you turn up to, and they're not there to see a Michael Jackson tribute. They're there to, I don't know, knit
Do other
or
stuff.
yeah, there's a knitting club, and we've turned up, and they are not interested. So you are literally just performing for yourselves. They are the worst gigs, and we've done a fair few of them. Near the beginning, we did quite a lot, and then they ventured off. But we do have a few regulars that we do.
I think like for me, they're hit and miss. They can be quite good, so because again, what we were talking about, where you have that small audience, when they're up for it, they're really up for it. But you do get, there's been some where literally you're just like, why am I here? Why? Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the work, but nobody gives a flying rat's ass that I'm on stage right now.
Nobody's watching. They've all gone.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
They're hard.
I think they're all good experiences. Like you said, there's some that obviously you don't feel inflated with afterwards.
Yeah.
But I guess that what it's more of a pet peeve really. Just the ones where you'd have a change room at the back of the room, and clearly you're coming round the side of the room to get to the stage, but people will just decide to stand there even halfway through the show when they know what's going on. So that's a pet peeve. But I don't really have a show that I despise.
No.
I remember Jen doing that, but this wasn't my fault. In Spain, launching herself out, cracking her face open and running straight on stage because
blood everywhere.
Blood out her mouth. And just thinking, I remember looking and thinking, I only got 3. What happened? That was the second show where I did the kick, the jack on Billie Jean, and my shoe launched into the audience. and I was like, I'm never seeing it again. And I hope I haven't killed anyone. And having a moonwalk in one shoe and a sock. Just,
that is so funny.
Oh, we had some such
We've
funny
had
times.
Some proper funny times.
Speaking, I mean, there is loads. There is loads of funny times, but one of the greatest, funniest times ever, and it still stands up no matter how many tours we do, how many shows we've done. We did one a little while ago where it was only like a once overnight or maybe 2 nights that came close, where definitely Sinc was there.
Yeah.
But it's always down in Somerset. It's always it's normally the October half-term tour, and there was one year that just was incredible.
So good.
For all the right and wrong reasons, it stands out always as just the greatest, most fun time of this show's existence.
It was all the after show antics and
Yes.
before show antics where we had a very drunk night together.
Oh, well, that's
was
the Beachcomber. The Beachcomber is one of our favourite venues. They are the loveliest, most welcoming, friendliest people to do shows with. And I miss them because I haven't seen them for over a year now. And they're just so welcoming. It's so much fun to do shows for them.
Yeah, they're the
And
best.
we even did, I remember the first time we did there, before they did all the venue change. And I remember Susie being there, Susie, Kim, Stacey, and I'm not sure who the fourth person is. It
I
might
remember
be one of
hearing
you
about
two,
it.
I
but
think it was me. It was me, I think.
I think it was you. And I just remember them ploughing us with drinks because we were staying over.
Yeah,
And
I remember
just looking around going, oh God, everyone's getting quite drunk. I hope we don't do anything bad here. I hope we're going to be all right. Because we didn't know them back then. And Stacey being just like, isn't everybody so nice?
Oh, bless her. Bless her.
Lovely. Everyone's so lovely. They're just so lovely. I'm like, yeah, Stace, we know. We're here too. Just
Hi, Mum.
battered. And like Susie just like literally everybody just getting more and more drunk and more messing around and whatever, and just thinking, wow, this is on. But we did the tour. I can't remember when exactly this was, but I know it was around the time that Game of Thrones was into like season 4 or 3. So whenever that was, it was then, because we was watching a lot of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
In the daytimes.
Yeah.
But everything happened on that tour. Absolutely everything that could happen happened on that tour.
Was that the one where it was the really torrential winds in the caravan? Was that one as well?
Yeah, it was. All of that happened. We had, so there was there was torrential weather one night. It was Ebony. It was you, Sinc, Corin, and Ebony. And Ebony spent most of the tour asleep, like outside of the gigs itself. And we were, like I said, we're watching lots of Game of Thrones and stuff like that in the daytimes, and then going off to do the gigs. And the gigs were all down in Weymouth and Somerset, so you'd have a maximum of, say, anything from like an hour and a half to 2 hour drive to a minimum of literally like a mile down the road to the next show.
Yeah.
And there was one of the nights, there was this real torrential storm, like proper hurricane, and the caravan was getting battered. Absolutely.
I wasn't sure if we'd survive that night.
Well, clearly, because you and Sinc came and knocked on my door. It was like, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like coming to do, you're right. Yeah, we're a bit worried that if we should stay in the caravan. in case it takes off, in case it flies away, sort of thing. Like it's really bad. And
it was rocking a lot.
It was rocking, and I remember saying to you as my car moved, "No, your car's still there. If that moves, then we'll get out."
Exactly. And to be fair, I was happy with that statement.
But then but then the next day, I remember you thinking that everyone was on a bit of a fitness freak sort of moment, if you like, anyway back then, and you decided to go for a run.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's all right. We've just talked about the hurricane moment, about how bad the wind was, and how you looked in your knickers.
I literally put my knickers running into you like Robin.
Yeah, Robin, should we? I think we should get out.
Out of this caravan. And then was you just about to say about when Jen went for a run?
Jen went for a run, and it was like we were at the Seagull, and the caravan's kind of on the side of the car park. So and the weather was so bad, there was no one in the car park really. There was only a few cars, and you could see this long run, this long stretch from the caravan to sort of the corner of the car park. And Jen had gone on a run, and weather was fine, and then literally hell broke loose out there, and it was like literally the hardest, worst rain and hail I've ever seen.
I'd already gone quite far in my run, so I just kind of carried on.
We were all up at the window looking through the curtains like, will we see Jen just fly past in
Where is she? Come on, Jen. Please come back while it's tipping down. Lock the door. Just like...
it was hilarious. We were just
there she is, like literally looking like a little drowned like poodle running up to the caravan. Like, go on, Jen, you can do it. Soaking wet, absolutely drenched. Oh.
That's another
to be fair though, it was quite invigorating being in the rain with my music in my ears. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah,
another time with you when we were all in a caravan. That caravan, I think. I'm not sure it was. And you were by the fridge and you opened it up and you went, "Oh no." My knee, and she stood up and she had this massive lump on her knee. Do you remember?
Yeah,
it was like the size of a fist.
It was like massive. We were all like, "Oh my god!"
It was just sticking out the front of my.
Honestly, we had to take you to the hospital.
Yeah,
because you couldn't drive.
Randomly, it was just housewife's knee.
Housewife's knee. Never heard of it.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I mean,
terrible, isn't it?
That was clearly named in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, all that kneeling down and getting stuff out of the fridge. Housewife's knee is what you've got.
Yeah,
terrible, isn't it?
Awful.
But yeah, I think it's from all the sliding on our knees in the show, but it just went.
You must have just bashed it.
It was so random though. It wasn't bruised. It was just this lump. Really weird. So I remember also on that tour, we used to stay at the Beachcomber for a couple of nights quite often, and that's when you had the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory room, as we called it, where all the beds were in one room, and then there was one other room, and I'd take the other room, and all you girls would be in the other room in all the beds, like literally like the Waltons sleeping in.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Goldilocks room.
And that was the night we have.
That was the dungeon night, right?
That was the dungeon night, yes. When we found out, I don't know how much people know about it, but there's a secret room that we got introduced to. And it was so cool. It's so cool how you get in there. So cool. And just being down there and just like, we're getting paid to do this. This is our job. This is part of our job at the moment. This is amazing.
Yeah, that was wicked. Who was on that gig? It was me, you, Ebony, and
Corinne.
It was Corinne.
She introduced us because we were watching Game of Thrones, and she'd watched it all up to where we were watching it at the time.
Right.
Yes.
And she kept going, not this episode, not this episode, because it was leading up to the Red Wedding, that episode. And she was like, this is the one. And we'd be like, what? And then it happened. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Bad. Like just watching that all day, and then you'd go and do a gig basically, and that was also the gigs where we were eating cheese off dirty old carpet.
I just remember us eating, the pineapple cheese.
Cheese feasts. We used to do cheese feasts after the gigs.
Yeah,
with a quick run to Tesco's, get some more cheese in, get some new crackers, get that chutney, get that pate. That pate as well. Get that.
Oh my god,
they were good times.
Spent about 30 quid on cheese and chutney and stuff. Got off the lot in a night. Like good old healthy dancers. That's the way.
They were great. Oh, that was such a good time.
Yeah.
Like, I missed
laughter. Oh dear, that was still to this day one of the best tours ever. So much fun. I think that was when we first started bringing on having a bit more of a laugh on the stage as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Again, I think that was where we were doing a gig. We'd be trying to trip each other up a little bit, like make each other stumble or fall or make each other sort of laugh on stage.
I'm so sorry. That's my door again. I'm going to leave.
That's
you.
all right.
It never happened.
You're popular. People asking for autographs, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we did start having more fun on stage.
Talking of other funny moments that came up in my mind, certainly things that I've always found hilarious were things like how, because obviously we have a bit of a start of the show ritual with
Yes.
and all of those things have been put in over the years because of
Yeah.
funny things that happened,
Yeah.
like, or things that were just said that were just, you know, we were saying all the time. And I certainly remember one of them being a certain word that we repeat quite quickly. We'll change it to fudge.
Yeah.
Because that was Jen trying to catch a TV falling off the side in Weymouth. That she, back when TVs were massive as well, this massive, not like these flat screens, huge, like probably 40, 50-inch TV that weighed probably enough for two people to have to pick it up. And she knocked it. She's like, fudge, 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 fudge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That ritual's got
nobody
quite long.
helping, just pointing and laughing. Like,
Yeah. The ritual has got quite long over the years.
massively, just because it's more things
Remember
get on. Do you know what? I don't think I even remember it all. I haven't done it for so long.
No.
Yeah, snap.
I'm
What was
not.
it?
Last time I did it, I think we kind of did it in October, the Halloween night last year. But I think we even started. We went, oh, read. What happens next?
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it is
Sad.
sad. We'll
Yeah, we
work
need-
it out. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
So quickly, one other funny thing I can remember. Certainly, one other thing we talked about certain characters, but there's obviously Paul the crocodile. But I'm not the only one who does characters. I'm not the only person who's brought in people that absolutely make my day. Certainly, and one of them involved a Miss Victoria Beta Sinclair, and a set of like pick and mix sweet teeth.
Heidi Lichtenstein.
Heidi Lichtenstein, I believe, was the name she was given.
I remember that tour so well as well. That was a funny tour, but it was.
Yes.
I felt like it was so. We were so tired by that day, and we got that gig so early, and they gave us a room, and we had to stay in this room for about 8 hours.
It was tiny little room. Like literally, we were almost like a totem pole of people, so that we could rather than
stand up.
And it was cold. Anyway, Robin had a bag of teeth, so Heidi was invented.
and it just it stayed. It's lasted forever.
If I can't do the voice without the teeth.
Oh, you
I'll have to
can.
get some teeth, and then I'll send you a
Can't
little
you just
video.
do that thing where you like dry it like that?
Oh, just try it. Try it.
Oh, no.
Do it.
Yeah.
Hello, Robin. It's Heidi here.
Oh God.
It's better with teeth.
She rocked my world. She's amazing. Just so funny. And
I think there's some video of that day.
you sent me a video not that long ago of Heidi, but with tiny rubbish.
They turned up tiny. I was like,
more like a gerbil.
there was a video of that actual day.
I'm sure there's a picture. Was there a video?
There might be.
I think there was a video. I think there was a video. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there was. Hello.
Just utter randomness. That's what makes our world go round, I think, which is always funny.
You've just got to do what you've got to do to get you through.
That's the thing. You've got people don't necessarily understand how long a day is when you're doing a show.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're on a tour, because even though you're chilling out, essentially, you're kind of still in a bit of a work environment. You know, you're still a little bit, your guard's on a bit, because you're aware that at any point somebody from the venue or from an agency or whatever, even just in front of the public, you're still representing yourselves and the show.
Yeah.
So you're never really truly yourself, if you know what I mean, to an extent. And, you know, as dancers and people in the show in general, you're quite often with a bunch of people that you've never spent that amount of time with either. You know, you'll know them, but you've never necessarily, you know, sat in or like slept over in a house or a bedroom or a caravan or whatever with. So you're finding out things about people, and it's kind of from that point of view, it's a little bit like when you start dating someone, you kind of show them the person you want to be, and then as the time goes along over that tour, you become your real person a little bit more. and you're a
Yeah.
bit more annoying or whatever and stuff. So that's kind of the way it works. And
Like say a tour brings out the best in someone.
It does.
it does. And also the worst. So
And the
Yeah.
worst. Yeah,
we
and the
get to
worst.
see the real people sometimes. You're kind of like, oh God,
Oh.
don't put them on. Don't put them on again. But that's the way it works. No, we've had some amazing times. So let's quickly go do a few more bits, because I'm very aware we've been going for nearly 2 hours now. So
We have.
we're gonna
Wow.
split this one up a little bit, I think, Jen. So
Yeah.
maybe edit it a bit more.
Yeah.
But so Jen, let's talk about some of the other stuff you do outside of the choreography. You also manage all of the social media for Forever Jackson. Tell us a bit about what goes into that. How do you keep things fresh, relevant, and attractive to new followers coming on board?
Yeah, so I think your followers are a mix of two completely different people, but they do meet in the middle in some way. Obviously, you've got followers that watch your show, are holiday makers and stuff that follow your page, and then you've got other people that follow you that are hardcore MJ fans. Some of which meet in the middle, but you've got to try and please both. So we do a lot of informational stuff about MJ quizzes and other stuff, and then a lot of information about the show. Obviously, we'd normally talk about shows that are coming up to make sure that people can come along, but we do like to try and think outside the box, especially first lockdown. We did quite a lot of interviews with you talking about how the show was put together and stuff, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, just trying to tick the box and for both types of audience and making sure that they're both enjoying your page, really. I think that when we go back to shows, we can start doing a whole bunch of new stuff, which would be exciting. But this is great, the interviews.
Well, I think one of the things that's come out from lockdown regarding social media is that we have to stay engaged with people so that people don't forget about us. And that's been both exciting but a challenge at the same time, because it's giving people something that they want to see, as well as giving people something that's worth seeing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can give people stuff that they want to see, but you also want to keep it, like you said, relevant to what we're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's been hard to find a fine line. One of the things that's been certainly worked really well for us, it's not always been the easiest thing for me to do because of lockdown and things like having kids at home all the time, is the TikTok videos that we've done over the time. And some of that's been really good fun. I've enjoyed doing that because it's shown a totally different side of us and our personality as a show. We do like having a massive laugh and having some fun. And a lot of what we do on social media normally doesn't necessarily represent that, because we're showing more about the professional things. We're showing the quality of the show, the production, the professionalism, and the high standards of the people involved in the show, and also, like you said, promoting the gigs that are coming up and what we're doing and what we've done. So
That's
there's
what's
not
nice
much
about,
space to show that.
I think that's what's nice about TikTok, because essentially Facebook, it's got your fans on it, but also it is kind of a professional platform to showcase yourself on as well. So there is a limit to what sort of thing you put on there, whereas TikTok is very much for the fun of it. It's for promoting, but it's for fun as well. So yeah, you've had my favorite, and the favorite on your page from other viewers is that one where you're gliding in a circle filling up the dishwasher. That's a good one.
Yeah, I love that one.
They will be back. We will do some more. Kids start back at school. We're currently Thursday the 6th, 7th, 4th, I don't know, 4th, Thursday the 4th of March. Lost track of what day we're on. Kids go back on Monday the 8th. So I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks we might be able to get a few more done. We'll start doing that again. And because that's the thing, when my makeup, for people who don't know, makeup takes between 2.5 and 3 hours just to do. And then filming what is essentially nothing more than a 10 to 30 second video takes a lot longer than 10 to 30 seconds, because you've got to learn it. You've got to plot where you're going to do it. You've got to place it. You've then got to, screen it, if you like, make sure that it looks the best it can on the screen before you record it. So there's a lot that goes into it. Each one of those videos probably takes anything, because I will learn what I'm going to do and plan it the day before. And I never really do it too much in advance so that it's still fresh in my head when I do it. And then on the day of doing it, I still got to refresh my mind again, because I might have learned 6 to 10 new little routine bits or videos or whatever. And then if I get something like the kids involved, if we do some of the comedy ones with the kids, it's getting them to do their bit. Like some of these videos have taken like an hour to film sometimes to get it right. So some of them are really quick and natural, but you know, it's the nature of it. So you're talking like an entire day it will take me to do a set of videos that will probably last a week to 10 days post wise.
Yeah.
So it's quite a laborious task, but they are a good fun and they've got really good responses. So
what would be great as well is when you go back to gigging, perhaps when you're in makeup, we can kind of try and get one video recorded at a gig, which would be better for you.
Absolutely, that's my plan. The plan is to sort of get to a point where I can be made up nice and early. I wouldn't say too early. I don't want to be sat around in my makeup and gear and not be able to go anywhere for hours on end. But certainly if I can be ready sort of an hour or two before the show and then film a couple at each gig. Some of it will be just promoting stuff. Some of it will be something funny that we can come up with and do, preferably in the venue or backstage. And certainly some of the girls. So definitely we'll do some stuff. So keep an eye on that, people. That's all to come over the coming months. Assuming that lockdown is disappearing slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, definitely. Before we go on talking about lockdown, actually, because I want to talk a little bit about that. Sinc, you have shall we say, a thankless task of sorting out who is on what show, how they get in there, what they're going to wear, making sure they know what they're doing. It sounds to maybe people sat outside of the show like it should get easier as it goes on because, you know, essentially these girls should know their jobs and they know what they're doing and stuff and things, but it never is. So tell us a bit about what goes into making all of that happen.
Well, it changes on every gig, so no one's in one position. Everyone's in a different position. They're learning different things, so you're setting that out every time, and then you're matching the costumes to that person as well and getting them ready. And also, a lot of the girls have other jobs as well, so it's having them, and then if something might crop up, and then they have to come off, and I've got to get someone else, and then everything has to be changed. So that can happen, but sort of the process of putting people on the gigs and stuff, everyone joined at different times, so I don't base it on, you know, just first come first served or who's the best or who's not the best or whatever.
In theory, everybody who's doing it is of a level to warrant performing, so that shouldn't matter.
Everyone is exactly the same. Everyone is treated exactly the same. They are all same level in my eyes, so no one is above anyone else. But what we try and do, it's like a point system to keep it fair. So like I'll do it every year at the end of the year, ready for the next year. And it's basically just little things like, do you train at Hip Hop Pop? How many gigs have you put yourself forward for in the last year? Have you done any free gigs? Like put yourself forward for like a showcase, for instance. Have you jumped in? Have you let me down? Or, you know, just little things that make up a point system to make it fair. And then the more points you gather along, the higher you'll be on the list. So when I get the gigs in, I give them out in that order. So they will go, and then over the years it changes every year because some people are more available one year, so then they will get more points, and the other people that haven't really done anything won't get as many, but then the next year they'll do more and then they'll go up higher. So it'll always fluctuate, and it'll always I think it's more what you will get out what you put in. So if you put yourself forward, if you put yourself forward for more and you're loyal and you know, you put your all into it and take a pride in it type
you get
of
what
thing,
you give.
you get what you give. So I try and base it more on that than, oh, you're the best, I'm going to use you for everything. Or as I've never liked that in my life. Like I wouldn't want to make anyone feel crap about them.
Also because of the nature, as you said, the nature of when the shows are, and you know, a lot, for instance, we'll get to summer holidays, the 6 weeks or so of summer holidays, and we can almost work every single day of those 6 weeks more often than not. And but that's great for people who maybe are teachers at school, because they're maybe more available if they're a dancer and a teacher, say for instance back in the day Stacey. However, if you're a parent or if you've just got a job in general, that's much harder to take an amount of time. So one of the key things that's always been important is reliability and availability. And one of the things that's never been a big issue for me, certainly, and I know it's something that has been commented on many a time over the years, is we're not bothered about the way you look, your size, your height, um, all of those elements. We're more interested in that you can do the routines and you can absolutely kill it when you do the routines. Doesn't matter if you're more curvy, doesn't matter if you're not very tall or if you're too tall, as long as you can fit into the costumes. And the costumes we have, more often I think we've got 3 different sizes of most costumes. At the very least, we've got 2 different sizes of each costume, so that we can mix and match and make sure people fit into it and be comfortable. But the most important thing is that you're available, you're reliable, and that you absolutely kill it on the choreography. That's always been the most important thing. And I think that's been unique compared to, say, a lot of other shows. Certainly when we first started, maybe that's, you know, people in the industry have become a bit more open-minded towards having different, because it's trended more in things like music videos and fashion and stuff to have different looking girls rather than the stereotypical model, stick thin, you know, dancer. And I think that's always come across well in our shows.
Yeah, I think so. I just think, life's hard enough, isn't it, for people? And I think, why, if you can try and make something easy, or not easy, but you just do something with a bit of kindness rather than, and especially the dance industry, it's really hard. Like,
Brutal.
when they go for auditions and things like that, like, I mean, you can just get brutalized. Some of it's fine and people are kind and lovely, but I just think, well, if I've got the option to go either way, I'm going to go with the way where I don't want to make people feel crap about
Yeah,
themselves.
well,
They're
some of
all
the
good
horror
enough.
stories we hear from some of the dancers that work on the show, you know, when they've gone for auditions and the things that have been said to them, and you're like, they called you fat. Are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
yeah,
Like, you are, there's nothing of you. You're a size, what, 10? You're an 8 or whatever it is. And they're saying that you've got to lose weight. Yet you are such a good dancer.
yeah.
It's
It's
crazy. I do think, I don't know for sure, but the impression I get is that's changing over the years, certainly over more recent years. But it's amazed me, always amazed me.
I hope it does
Hope it does
change,
continue to
because
change.
I
Yeah.
mean, but that's how we work. I would never say anything to, like, anything like that to any of the girls. We are more be yourself, and if you put the hard work in, you'll get more gigs, and that's the only thing that would hold you back. It's got nothing to do with ability or look or whatever. If you don't put the work in, then obviously you won't get as many points to go up the list to get more gigs. But if you put the work in and you're committed, then you'll get the gigs. And that is literally it. You wouldn't be doing the show if you wasn't good enough. You're already good
Yeah.
enough. It's just about, like, just putting work in to get work out, because it's the fairest way, because there's so many of us now. There's like, what, 16? So
About 16 at the moment. Yeah.
you can't put 16 people on a gig, so it's between 2 and 4 all the time.
Yeah.
So I've got to share it out evenly. So it's
And
just
then
trying
obviously
to fair.
one of the other things that's been introduced over the years is obviously having people in reserve, so that they're on a gig ready, because obviously things happen.
Yeah,
So
that's another point system as well. The more gigs you put yourself on a reserve for, you are likely to get called up, because things happen all the time. People drop
yeah,
out last minute all the time because life gets in the way. People have got kids or they've got jobs, and it does happen.
yeah,
So reserves do get used a lot. And by the end of the year, I look down my list, and majority of the reserves have all worked their way in at some point.
yeah.
So it does happen. But I mean, we're lucky. We got a good bunch of girls, and I'm sure they're all really excited to get back to it. I'm not so
I
excited.
mean, it's one of the great things, one of the really great things. I can't remember, but when it last happened, but it's a rarity that ever we've had to have a word with anybody or say anything. You know, you kind of holding back a bit. You need to give it a bit more. It's a rarity that anything like that ever happens. So we really have got a good bunch of girls, and let's hope that continues over however many more years that we do this show together.
I'll tell you, Robin, some of my teenagers are on fire. So when they keep their socks pulled up, we'll have a new generation, to join the team at some point.
Excellent. I mean, my only fear on that is I'm already feeling quite old on this show when I'm in a car journey with a bunch of girls and they're all using words and slang that I'm like,
I know, Robin, we're with you. We are with you because we're getting older now, and the kids are obviously growing up and they're coming out with things. And now I am getting to that age where I go, oh, I don't understand what that means.
yeah, it's like old Grandpa MJ comes out on stage. All right, you're gonna come and do some dancing, are ya? Yes, I've come to do my show.
Or maybe we'll have an older Jackson, and we'll get
not forever, Jackson. nearly finished, Jackson. So,
Jackson.
Yeah.
oh, God. No.
Yeah.
So before we wrap things up, let's just talk a little bit about the last 12 months. It's been there's been lots of ups and downs for many people over the last 12 months. It's very easy to get focused on the downs. Very easy, because we've all experienced them. No matter who you are, we've all experienced them over the last 12 months or so. But let's look a bit more at maybe some of the positives to an extent. So obviously, anybody who's watching this many years in advance, if this video is still available, 2020 was fun, interesting. A good old coronavirus got introduced to the entire world, and everybody ceased to exist for certainly in the way that we knew. And we're now February 20. No, we're March now, aren't we? Blimey. That's what lockdown's done for everybody. Nobody knows where we are anymore. It's just Groundhog Day. But we're now early March 2021, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel currently. How long that tunnel goes on for could still be extended, but it's there. So how has the last 12 months been for you girls and hip hop pop? How much of an impact has it had? Has it affected your personal lives? And what have been some of the highs for you, especially?
We've taken a hit, like all of anyone in our industry, like yourselves. Like, it's been a massive hit, but
in particular the schools clubs, because we haven't been able to
going
run
to
that
school. So
that arm
that's
of the
just
business.
been, we had 30 clubs in a school and we got nothing. So it's that's been the hardest hit, and our tutors, and that's why we lost Corinne as well, because she was obviously
she stuck it out for so long, bless her, but she had to get
she had to get something else, which is devastating because she was such an asset. So we're gutted to have lost her, but she had no choice. She just got a mortgage and stuff, so you just can't risk it. But on the other front, we're trying our best to just keep the thing going. What we wanted to do was, we didn't just want to stop, and then we did lose a lot of members, but we didn't want to stop and not give anything. So we just went full on for the online stuff, and we literally jam pack our members' weeks out, Monday to Sunday. So there's something for everyone, even not just for the kids that dance. There's classes on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, but then we've got other nights where parents and grandparents and other kids in the household can do stuff. Like, we have a fitness class, we have a yoga class, we do quiz nights, bingo nights. So we try and put something on for anyone in the household, and a lot of parents have really appreciated that, which has been really nice. I've had some lovely feedback.
And the people that have stuck with us, have been really, really loyal and wonderful. And they, even there's even some that say, look, I just can't come online for this, that, or the other, but we're going to continue to be members because we want to support you. There's been some really lovely people.
Yeah, amazing.
And even the people that have had to leave have said really nice things and said, we will be back. We love what you do. We just can't afford it.
Everyone's in a different boat. Everyone's struggling. People have lost jobs. People, we're clinging on, but there's some some people, however long this could go on for, you don't know what would happen. But some people have lost their jobs instantly because they work for people and they've just got rid of them, and it's a really hard time for people. So you can't expect people to carry on doing our stuff because they're struggling themselves. So
the stuff that you're doing, with how much you've got planned literally on a weekly basis, how has that been? Have you found time for yourselves at all over the last year or so?
Well, we used to shut in the half terms and stuff, and last year we didn't. We just ran the whole time, the summer, everything. So it's been really full on, because you think if you're doing it from home, it would be less work, but actually you're putting more in
a way.
So
of course.
And I mean, especially for Jen, doing the actual teaching online is just, I mean, I couldn't do it. But
Other teachers will appreciate it, but it is very much. I didn't realize it till the first few weeks, but everyone's just looking at you. You have to entertain, for the full time. Like, whereas in a class, I'll teach something, I can go and interact one to one. I've got assistants. Do you know what I mean? There is a pace to it. Whereas online, it's just go, 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 go. You've got to keep the energy up to make sure people are engaged. And but I've enjoyed it. It's been a challenge, but I've enjoyed it. But
we got like a set routine now, haven't we, that we do? But it's been busy, but we've managed to get a few times. We said the other day, didn't we? You know, before we'd go out for a meal or something like that. Whereas now we are taking the time to go out, get a coffee, and just sit on the grass for a bit. And we've never done that before, so we didn't get time to do that before. So we try and do that once a week.
Looking after the pennies a bit more, thinking outside the box a bit more.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got no choice to, so you have to. You have to rein it in. So hopefully that'll bode well when we go back. We'll start saving a bit more and just maybe slowing down a bit. But I know us, we probably won't.
Have you managed to learn anything new during lockdown, or something that have you found the time to do something different for yourselves?
We both have.
A GCSE.
I've got another GCSE.
Really?
It was just because I'm writing a lot of blog posts at the minute on the dance school page, and I've been writing a lot about how street dance and mental health and physical health come together.
Yes.
So I just wanted to, even though I've done my research, get a piece of paper to prove that I knew some of what I was saying. So I did a nutrition GCSE.
Wow.
And done a few other little courses, you know, ones that aren't really certified, just teach you, certainly in terms of digital marketing and things like that.
This is general Jen playing it down, because every day she's got some podcast or something teaching her something in her ear. Like, it's going all day long, to the point I have to go, can you turn that off or put your earphones in? Because I can't listen to this guy telling me how to do something anymore. So she's all day long learning something, and I have learned how to draw an eye.
Wow. And that
I'm going to go and get it, because I'm pretty impressed.
I want to see now. I want to see.
She's playing it down. I'm going to say it while she's out there, because she won't say it. But she's just started an Etsy shop.
Yes.
So she's got handmade gifts, all sorts of stuff.
That was my plan, to get her onto that as well. I think we're still mentioning it.
She doesn't like to self-promote, which is not good.
Are you ready? Ready for me? This is my favourite achievable one. This was my first
fanfare. Oh wow, they're really good.
Thanks.
Really good.
That one's a bit big. That's like my eye. But that was my first one. My first ever
really
eye.
Good.
Sultry, sexy eye. That top one. I like that one.
Well, I mean, it was a drawing course that I started doing. And it's typical me. I started it and I haven't finished it. So, but I did learn how to draw an eye, so I was happy with that.
You got something you didn't have before.
There's still a couple of months of lockdown going on. We're all right. You'll find the time.
They then wanted me to draw a flip-flop and some sort of box, which didn't go so well.
Yeah. Stick to the eyes. Stick to the eyes.
So I'll stick to the eyes.
Is that why you stopped doing it? Because you did that one? No.
They're a bit close together.
Yeah.
There's no space for a nose.
No, really is.
I'm buzzing about my eye. I'm buzzing about it. If there's anything I've learned in this lockdown, is I can draw a really good eye.
I like it. Well, tell us just quickly, while you're out the room, Jen just started talking a bit about your Etsy shop. Tell us a bit about it.
Okay.
She don't like talking about it.
So basically, I've a lot in my life. I make stuff. I like making stuff. It's a therapy for me.
As my dad calls her, she's crafty.
I'm a bit crafty. But it's just mainly it's my therapy, 100% from anxiety and all things like that. If I make something, it takes me away. Colouring, all stuff like that, I'm in it. So I just, for years now, I've just made stuff and done things like that. So I started making a few things, and a few family members and Jen pushed me into maybe trying to sell a few of them. Not really for more, not, I mean, yeah, I need to make money, but also more just to do something that I really enjoy. So I did.
There's nothing wrong with having a business that you enjoy. At the end of the day, that's why we're all here. We all do something we love to do. So
I always panic. It's just not good enough. So it makes me more anxious to do it. So it's taken me a long time to even do that. So it's up. And Jen
Well-
keeps telling me to do all these different things like pushing it for social and all this. And I'm like, I will, but I need to do it bit by bit because I can't handle it. So
Well, without pushing out your comfort zone too much, where can people find your page?
it's called Made by Tora. It's Made by Tora because that's what my niece calls me. So I instead of Victoria, she's always called me Tora.
Yep.
So I changed it to that. So I've got an Instagram page and I've got an Etsy page, Made by Tora.
Yeah, the Instagram has got underscores between the words.
Yeah, it has.
Couldn't you change the name at some point to Lovely Things by Liechtenstein?
Yes, that can be like an add-on, and I'll just sell things with teeth on them.
Zach, I mean, winning. It's a sell. So marketable. So marketable. You could get like sponsored by the people that make the sweet teeth.
Yes. I could just put them on little purses and
face masks with them on.
Face masks with teeth on. Mate, I'm going to make you one of them.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
Look in the post. It's coming.
We can mark it like a toy of Paul.
Yeah, I need a photo of him so I can get the actual resemblance.
I'll see what I can do. I'll speak to some people. So I'll call Mr. Kellogg's. Well, ladies, I think we should probably wrap it up as it has been 2.5 hours nearly. So
it's been so long. It's been
so long. I said at the start that this would be a longer interview. I didn't think it would be 150% longer, but it's but we could easily keep talking. We genuinely could, but I don't want to bore people. So because I know a lot of what we talk about will probably be in jokes and things that people won't necessarily get. But I really appreciate the time that you've taken to have a chat. I miss you both massively because even when we're on shows, I don't get to see you too often because you're more behind the scenes rather than on the stage these days.
Yeah, I'm going to try and come back
forward to it. I really do look forward to working with you again as soon as possible. Well, we still do work together now, but I mean in person a bit more.
Yeah. Well, things will slow down when we go back, so they'll have to progress back up. So hopefully we'll get the chance to do a few gigs, and it'll be really nice.
Please put yourselves on some gigs at some point in the summer holidays, please. Both of you, not just one. All right.
Robin, it's been about 3 years. I need to relearn the choreo.
Well, you created it, so you'd be all right. You'd be fine. And if not, you're going to look wicked doing a bit of freestyle. So it's a win-win for everybody. So it's I cannot wait to get together and have a laugh in person because it's been far too long. So
so long.
Thanks for asking us today.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Thank you so much. And we'll catch up soon.